السلام عليك يا I will beseech you, I will grieve you into the night.
I will beseech you, I will grieve you into the night. You are my master, I am alone, I call unto you. You are my master, I am alone, I call unto you.
Because I will be with you till the end, Hussein. In my eyes there's always tears of pain.
Like a river flows for your love, Hussein. Every broken heart cries out your name, cries out your name.
روحي وقلبي لديك صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله يا أبا عبد الله.
روحي وقلبي لديك صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله يا أبا عبد الله. From your shrine I can't bear to stay apart. The flame of your love ignites my heart. Your name gives meaning to my soul. To you I raise my hands and call.
From your shrine I can't bear to stay apart. The flame of your love ignites my heart. Your name gives meaning to my soul. To you I raise my hands and call. Mere Mola ya Hussein Jaan, Mere Mola ya Hussein Jaan. Hussein Janam, Hussein Janam, my tears for you will never dry.
Mere Mola ya Hussein Jaan, Mere Mola ya Hussein Jaan. Hussein Janam, Hussein Janam, my tears for you will never dry.
For every step I take is to you, Hussein. Till my final breath, your love will remain.
Even if they take my feet and my hands, I'll come crawling to your holy land, to your holy land.
Assalamu alaikum, dear children, dear parents, followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, and to the entire humanity. Dear children, dear parents, I would request if you guys all have taken wuzu tonight to please do so if you have not done it, because we are in the Majlis of Aba Abdullah alayhi salam, so it is very important that we take wuzu. And I would also request all of us to please put our hands together and say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim and send our salam to Aba Abdullah, because we are in the Majlis of Imam Hussain alayhi salam.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبارك الذي بيده الملك هو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور الذي خلق سبع سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حصير ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين وأعتدنا لهم عذاب الصعير وللذين كفروا بربهم عذاب جهنم وبئس المصير صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم أجمعين. Jazakallah, mashallah, Burhan. Really nicely recited Tilawat Quran Pak. Assalamu alaikum, Alisa.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Alisa, you have prepared a puppet show, I believe, for tonight's Majlis. So can you please tell me what the puppet show is about?
It's about the etiquettes of Majlis.
Etiquettes of Majlis, mashallah. So now please go for it with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Elisa and I'll be doing a puppet show on etiquettes of Majlis. So these are my puppets who will be playing the characters of Nouri and Iman. So let's get started.
Assalamu alaikum, Nouri. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam, Iman. Alhamdulillah, I'm good and I'm so excited. It can play, watch movies and have all the fun. Hey, maybe we can plan a sleepover.
Yes, you're right, but I won't be able to join you. I don't think it's a good idea.
Why? Why not? Don't you want to have fun with me?
No, Nouri. I always like to play and have fun with you. You know that.
Then why don't you want to come over?
Well, Nouri, it's the month of Muharram and it's time of mourning and azadari. It's time to attend Majlis and reflect and ponder on the sacrifices made by our Imams.
Oh yes, you are right. My mom did tell me that, but I completely forgot about it. But Iman, I really find it hard going to Majalis.
Why is that, Nouri?
Because Iman, it's hard for me to sit down quietly and listen to the Malana for so long. It is kind of boring. How do you find it interesting, Iman? I don't understand what I should be doing when I go to Majlis, except that I have to just sit down and not run around and not talk to my friends.
Oh my Nouri, that's not the way you should be thinking. This year Azadari is even more exceptional. It will cleanse you, it will renew your faith in religion, and it will inspire you to a greater level. You should utilize this time and try to put your best foot forward with the best of intention, and you will find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy on you. So please tell me, will you try doing this, Nouri?
Is it Iman? Of course I will try, Iman. Can you please tell me some more etiquettes of going to Majlis? I know a few of them, like take wuzu and wear clean clothes before attending the Majlis. Also, I know that at the end of the Majlis, everyone greets for Imam Hussain alayhi salam. But Iman, I can't cry. Although I do feel sad about the tragedy of Karbala, but I'm not able to shed tears.
Okay, Nouri. Do you know those who shed tears during the Majlis of Imam Hussain alayhi salam? Allah showers His mercy upon them and elevates them. But that's alright. Even if you are not able to cry, you should make an expression of sadness and think about the sacrifices our Imam have made. Try to imagine you're at Karbala among the companions of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Think about the cries of children and how arrow hit Hazrat Ali Asghar alayhi salam. Always remember, never feel shy in grieving loudly for Imam Hussain. And you know what? During that time, you can even ask for your special prayers.
This really sounds so magical and motivating. Please, Iman, can you please tell me some more points that I can keep in my mind during Majlis Hussain?
Well, there are many, but to list a few, I would say it is really important, Nouri, that when the Maulana or anyone in the live Majlis is saying salam to you, you should say walaikum assalam. Even if you're sitting at your home, just because people can't see you, this doesn't mean Allah isn't watching. You should sit with respect the same way you were in the mosque. One important message of Imam Hussain alayhi salam is to be selfless. Now, we can be selfless if we treat everyone at home with respect and give space to our parents and siblings when sitting for majlis. Also, you should remain in silence and try as hard as you can to listen to the majlis. This way, you will be respecting the Maulana, the past participants, and showing respect to Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Similarly, in the Majlis, people often looked focused and serious. Well, this is because they have an opportunity to learn from the scholars that have been invited to speak. So, talking during Majlis is very selfish and rude when everyone is there to learn. Doing all these things is showing respect to our Imam in his Majlis, and it pleases Allah. And you already know that we should always try to make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happy.
Iman? Iman?
Nouri, my dad is calling me. Look, I have to go now. I have some homework pending. But yeah, inshallah, we'll catch up on this again later, yeah?
That's absolutely fine, but thank you so much for reminding me on the etiquettes of Majlis and why it is important.
Not a problem, Nouri. You're always welcome. Fi amanillah.
Yamanillah.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم أجمعين. Jazakallah, mashallah, Alisa Fatima Mohsin. There's a lot of effort that goes into puppet play and the script, and you know that because usually we don't do puppet shows in majlis, especially in the month of Muharram. So the very important way you have explained the ethics of month of Muharram, and you know how we should properly do azadari. So Jazakallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with you and this effort. Jazakallah, Fatima. Dear children, dear parents, you guys, if you remember last night in the first Shabi month of Muharram, when I went through with you guys a exactly similar one explaining the month of Muharram being the first Islamic month. But it's important for you to understand, that our preparation for the month of Muharram doesn't just suddenly start because it's the month of Muharram. It goes all the way back to the other months. It goes back all the way to 6 months beforehand. That's when the journey of Imam Hussain alayhi salam started. It didn't just start on the first day of Muharram, no, dear children. It started on the 7th Islamic month in month of Rajab. If you guys can see, I'll make it bigger for you guys, but if you can see it, that Hazrat Ali Asghar was born in this holy month, in the month of Rajab. Hazrat Ali Asghar was 6 years old when he got martyred at Karbala. So that makes sense that, the journey started 6 months beforehand. So the journey actually started, Imam Hussain, on the 28th of Rajab. The journey of Imam Hussain from Medina to Karbala started. The Medina is the house of Imam Hussain, the house of Bibi Fatima Zahra. So that's something I really wanted to make you guys understand, that it started that from Medina. They had to leave their home and go, and then they went next to another place. They went to Makkah, and from Makkah, their journey was not straight from Medina to Karbala. They had many stops in between. So it is very important for you to understand. Inshallah, tonight we are going to explain to you that how Imam Hussein's alayhi salam's journey started from Medina, from his hometown. Now, I would like to share with you a video for you guys to understand Imam Hussein's journey that started from Medina, from his hometown. So just bear a moment with me, and please pay a close attention to this. It is very important. Please do recite salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in.
On 20th Rajab in 60 Hijra, Muawiyah died. For more than 20 years, the tyrant had ruled over Muslims. He was the son of Abu Sufyan and Hinda, who had left no stone unturned in persecuting the Holy Prophet. Abu Sufyan became a Muslim only after he was convinced that Makkah would surrender to the Prophet. His son Muawiyah, however, refused to accept Islam and went into exile in Yemen. It was only when he saw the whole of Arabia become Muslim that Muawiyah was left with no alternative but to accept Islam. After the death of the Holy Prophet, Muawiyah and his elder brother sided with the enemies of Imam Ali. He played an important part in usurping leadership from Imam Ali. For this, first the elder brother, and after his death, Muawiyah, were rewarded by the ruler of the time with the governorship of Syria. When Imam Ali became Khalifa, he dismissed Muawiyah for his corruption and anti-Islamic behavior. Muawiyah refused to give up his position. This led up to the Battle of Siffin. When Muawiyah was about to lose the battle, he managed to trick and bribe the majority of Imam Ali's army to insist upon referring the dispute to arbitration. Using the same methods, he got the arbitrators to give a decision in his favor. Muawiyah then set himself up as an independent Amir al-Sham, the ruler of Damascus, when Imam Ali was the Khalifa. Soon after the martyrdom of Imam Ali, Muawiyah, making full use of his methods of bribery, treachery, tyranny, and oppression, succeeded in becoming the Khalifa. Muawiyah was not interested in Islam. He only used Islam for his power and glory. He never hesitated to trample over the laws of Islam. When any saying of the Holy Prophet did not suit him, he ordered it to be struck of all records. He set up a special department under Abu Huraira to manufacture fake sayings of the Holy Prophet, which would favor him and his policies. Muawiyah hated Imam Ali and all the members of the Ahlul Bayt. The Shias were mercilessly persecuted. Anyone who dared to say anything in favor of any member of the Ahlul Bayt was put to death or thrown into a dungeon. Now Muawiyah was dead and his son Yazid made himself the Khalifa. Yazid was worse than his father. In addition to all the evil qualities of his father, he openly mocked Islam. He was often found drunk, singing songs which made jokes of Namaz, the Holy Prophet, and his progeny. The difference between the father and the son was this: Muawiyah used Islam, Yazid was determined to destroy Islam. As soon as he became Khalifa, Yazid sent a letter to his governor of Medina, Walid bin Utbah, asking him to get bay'at from Imam Hussain. Bay'at means an oath of allegiance. Yazid felt that if Imam Hussain declared bay'at to him, no one could then accuse him of having taken over Khilafat illegally. Walid received the letter on 27th Rajab. He sent a message to Imam Hussain to go to the palace that evening. Accompanied by his brothers, sons, and nephews, Imam Hussain went to the palace. Imam asked all who had come with him to wait outside while he went in alone. Walid showed Imam no respect and rather arrogantly asked him to declare bay'at to Yazid. Imam replied that the question of bay'at was a serious matter and should be discussed openly in daylight. Imam came out looking sad. He asked all his companions to go home and prepare for a journey at dawn. The following morning, he requested Hazrat Abbas to take charge of the preparation, adding, "Abbas, Fatima Sughra is ill. She will not be able to stand a long journey. She will have to stay in Medina." Imam began to walk slowly towards the mosque, deep in thought. Imam Hussain could not even consider bay'at to Yazid. It was not a matter of his pride or his right to Khilafat. Bay'at to Yazid would mean Imam's approval of Yazid's way of life, and this would decidedly lead to a total destruction of Islam. It was Imam's duty to uphold and defend Islam. If he stayed on in Medina while he refused to give bay'at, then Yazid would surely attack him in Medina. Imam would have the advantage of having all his own relatives as well as the people of Medina fighting on his side. But this would have two serious disadvantages. Firstly, it would put all his friends in Medina in danger. Secondly, although Yazid might be defeated, history would look upon the battle as a battle of Khilafat. Even if Yazid were to be killed, the injustice, the oppression, and the immortal way of life which Muawiyah and Yazid had promoted would not die. Imam Hussein's mission was to destroy the evil that these two men had let loose. For this, he needed to awaken the spirit of Islam amongst the Muslims. Imam arrived at the mosque. He lit a candle and walked towards the grave of the Holy Prophet. The thought that this might be the last time he would see the grave filled him with sorrow. He sat by the grave, put his cheek on it, and began to sob. "I have come to say goodbye to you, O grandfather. I have to leave Medina to save Islam. Pray that Allah grants me patience." Imam then went to the grave of his mother, Bibi Fatima Zahra. He was unable to speak. He kissed the grave and said a silent farewell. Some say that as the Imam began to walk away, Bibi Fatima's voice was heard from the grave. "Khuda Hafiz, O my son. Go, I too will be with you."
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم أجمعين. Jazakallah, Sanya Naqbi really thoroughly explained the journey of Imam Hussain alayhi salam and his family from Medina. Dear children, dear parents, we have with us our Islamic scholar, Khanum Amba Zahra, who is going to give majlis now to the kids, to the youths. So please recite salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Today we have gathered here because we will try to understand the philosophy and the reason behind the question that arises in our minds, that why did Imam Hussain leave Medina? Imam Hussain alayhi salam had a great following among the people of Medina, who had seen the Prophet showering his love and affection on him. Imam Hussein's eminence in teaching the Holy Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet, and his knowledge of the Islamic jurisprudence and other sciences, and his noble character had endeared him to the people of Medina. In addition to this, he had his near relatives, the Hashmites, and several esteemed companions of the Prophet, who revered Imam Hussain alayhi salam so highly. Imam Hussain alayhi salam enjoyed the respect and admiration of the people of Medina and Mecca. Had Imam Hussain alayhi salam desired to wage war against the tyrannical establishment with the view to succeed to power, Medina was the most suitable place to commence the struggle. However, Imam Hussain alayhi salam chose to avoid any conflict. Therefore, he chose to leave Medina. When he was threatened and pressurized to accept Yazid as the caliph, had Imam Hussain alayhi salam shown allegiance to Yazid, it would have amounted to approve all the anti-Islamic deeds of Yazid. If Imam Hussain alayhi salam had remained in Medina, it would certainly have led to his massacre along with the Banu Hashim and all the true believers. So Imam Hussain alayhi salam decided to leave Medina. Imam Hussain alayhi salam preferred to migrate and move away from Medina. The best place he could choose was Makkah, the sanctuary of the Holy Kaaba, where even the killing of a mosquito is prohibited right from the pre-Islamic days, should have provided safety to Imam Hussain alayhi salam and his family. However, this was not to be in preferring to migrate rather than to stay at Medina and create a possible confrontation with the forces of Yazid. Imam Hussain alayhi salam followed the footsteps of his grandfather, the Prophet. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had set an example in his migration from Mecca to Medina. In similar circumstances, on the command of God, Imam Hussain alayhi salam could not at any cost accept an enemy of Islam as a ruler over Muslims. Imam Hussain alayhi salam met Salma, his step-grandmother, and the surviving wife of the Prophet. Salma had heard from the Prophet that Imam Hussain alayhi salam would be martyred at Karbala. She repeated what she had heard from the Prophet and showed a vial of mud given to her by the Prophet. Imam Hussain alayhi salam retold his dream, gave a vial containing mud of Karbala, and asked Salma to keep both vials together. He then told Salma that on the day of his martyrdom, the mud in both the vials would turn into blood. Imam Hussain alayhi salam planned to create any revolt or attempt to gain power. Neither would have left Medina. He wouldn't have left Medina if he had that plan in mind, but he chose to take his family members, consisting mostly of women and children. This shows that Imam Hussain salam left Medina primarily in response to the urgent and insistent call of the Iraqis for religious guidance and also to avoid capitulation to Yazid's demand or avoiding any serious conflict or bloodshed. Never can any worldly aspirations or desire for power or wealth be attributed to Imam Hussain alayhi salam. So this was the philosophy behind the decision Imam took, that he left Medina, the dear city of his grandfather, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم أجمعين. Jazakallah Khan Mumbai Zahra for such a thorough explanation about the sacrifice of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us the tawfiqat to visit the holy shrine of Aba Abdullah, inshallah. Jazakallah. Dear children, dear parents, this is the time of Masa'ib. I request all of you guys to please be steady right now. Think of the pain of Hazrat Ali Asghar, a 6-year-old, a 6-month-old baby. Please put your heads down. Try to cry, as the participants tonight mentioned, as last time I said to you, that every single drop of your tears is going to be counted. Assalamu alayka ya Rasulallah. Assalamu alayka ya Imam Ali. Assalamu alayki ya Bibi Fatima Zahra. Assalamu alayka ya Imam Hassan. Assalamu alayka ya Imam Hussain. Assalamu alaykum ya Panjatan Pak. Dear children, let's take our hearts tonight to the city of Medina. Let's take our hearts to the house of Imam Ali, Bibi Fatima Zahra, Imam Hassan, and Imam Hussain. In this house, Bibi Fatima Zahra and Imam Ali started their marriage life. In this house, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain were born. This is where they spent their childhood and youth life. It is in this house where the angel Jibreel alayhi salam would always come with permission. It is in this city, Medina, and in this house where everyone knew that if you knock and ask for help, they will surely be helped out. It is in this city where Imam Ali alayhi salam would secretly leave food at the doors of the orphans. Dear children, the holy shrine of Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam is in this city, Medina. The door of Bibi Fatima Zahra salamullah alayha was burnt here. The soon-to-be-born Muhsin alayhi salam was killed. It is in this city where Bibi Fatima Zahra was martyred. This is the city where Imam Hussain alayhi salam was shaheed. Dear children, when you leave a place that you have so many memories, it is very hard. But we can't imagine what was going through the mind of Aba Abdullah or Imam Hussain. We can't imagine how hard it must have been for you to leave Medina. When you went to the shrine of your grandfather, the Prophet of Allah, for a final visit, what could your final words have been? I am sure, O Aba Abdullah, you would have remembered the sayings and the prophecy of Rasulullah that you will be martyred at Karbala. You would have probably said to your grandfather, to Rasulullah, "O Rasulullah, indeed the time has come for me to leave Medina, our home now. Help me, O Rasulullah, so I do everything to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." Dear children, after saying Khuda Hafiz to Rasulullah, to Bibi Fatima, to Imam Ali, and to his beloved brother Imam Hassan, Imam Hussain looked at his sister, Bibi Zainab, who understood that now is the time that they must leave behind their home. Dear children, at night time when it was dark, all the Bibis came out of their house. Hazrat Abbas, Hazrat Qasim, Hazrat Ali Akbar, and Imam Sajjad waited to make sure all the Bibis and the children got on the camels safely. But the Bibis knew that after Karbala, they will not have the support of Hazrat Abbas. They will no longer have Hazrat Qasim or Hazrat Ali Akbar. Dear children, did you know Hazrat Ali Asghar was just recently born? As mentioned, the journey from Medina began on 28th Rajab. Now today was 1st Muharram. Tomorrow will be 2nd Muharram, the day when this caravan will reach the land of Karbala. 6 months of being away from Medina now. We are sorry, O Bibi Zainab. We are sorry, O Hazrat Ali Asghar. We are sorry, O Imam Hussain. We are sorry to all of you as you had to leave your house. We are sorry, O Bibi Sughra, that you had to stay back at Medina and got separated from your father, Imam Hussain. O Imam Mehdi, please help us to understand every detail of the sacrifice of these great personalities. O Imam Mehdi, please guide us so we spread the message of Imam Hussain with all the humans, because Imam Hussain isn't just a personality for us Shias only, but an example for everyone. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in. Please recite salawat for the reappearance of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, that we be among his companions, O Imam Mahdi. Just like those who have promised Imam Hussain alayhi salam that they were going to support him, called out to Imam Hussain. We are also calling out to you, O Imam Mehdi, but do not make us be among those regretful, the one who broke their promise. O Imam Mehdi, O Imam Mehdi, please recite salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in. Please, now is the time to ask for your hajat. Reach out to Aba Abdullah, talk to Aba Abdullah, send your salam to Bibi Fatima Zahra. Tell her that Bibi Fatima Zahra, we are with you. We are shedding tears for Aba Abdullah. Dear children, dear parents, if I could please request you now to step away from your phone, from your laptop. Just like every other time I say, the best way to do matam for Imam Hussain is to stand up, face the Qibla and do matam for Aba Abdullah. Please recite salawat. Dear children, dear parents, we are going to have the Tajani brothers joining us live in the upcoming nights, inshallah. They have prepared this noha, especially for the young children, especially for those parents who do not have a child yet and wants a child, just like Ali Asghar. Please, when you do matam, it's very important. You don't just do matam, but you focus on the wordings of the noha, because noha tells you the history, the feelings of what had taken place. Please recite salawat.
بچہ جو کیا ہے عطا نوکر ہو وہ تیرا ذاکر ہو وہ تیرا عزادار ہو تیرا قربان کروں تجھ پر مولا یہ ہے تیرا نوکر مولا میرا بچہ ہو عزادار میرا بچہ ہو عزادار قربان کروں تجھ پر مولا یہ ہے تیرا نوکر مولا میرا بچہ ہو عزادار میرا بچہ ہو عزادار ہے آخری دم تک یہ یقین پکا وہ رہے اس راہ پہ دنیا کی عزت مال و زر قربان کرے سب شاہ پہ ہر دم مولا ہے یہ دعا مولا ہے یہ دعا میرا بچہ ہو عزادار میرا بچہ ہو عزادار قربان کروں تجھ پر مولا یہ ہے تیرا نوکر مولا میرا بچہ ہو عزادار میرا بچہ ہو عزادار چلنے سے پہلے میں انہیں ماتم کرنا سکھلاؤں گا جب بھی وہ بول پائے گا نوحے مجلس پڑھواؤں گا انشاءاللہ ہو ذاکر تیرا میرا بچہ ہو عزادار میرا بچہ ہو عزادار قربان کروں تجھ پر مولا یہ ہے تیرا نوکر مولا میرا بچہ ہو عزادار میرا بچہ ہو عزادار جب کھیلتے کھیلتے گرے لب پر ہو پہلے یا علی اسلام سے نسبت ہو جڑی جب وقت غم ہو یا خوشی حیدر حیدر لب صدا میرا بچہ ہو عزادار میرا بچہ ہو عزادار قربان کروں تجھ پر مولا یہ ہے تیرا نوکر مولا میرا بچہ ہو عزادار میرا بچہ ہو عزادار جب 8 محرم آئے گی ہاتھوں میں اٹھائے گا علم نوحے کی صدا جاری رہے ہر دم وہ ہو مصروف غم بی بی کی پائے وہ دعا میرا بچہ ہو عزادار میرا بچہ ہو عزادار قربان کروں تجھ پر مولا یہ ہے تیرا نوکر مولا میرا بچہ ہو عزادار میرا بچہ ہو عزادار جب آنکھ کھلے گی صبح کو لب پر ہو پہلے یہ کلام اے آقا شہید کربلا میں بھیجتا ہوں تجھے پر سلام دل کی ہو ایسے ابتدا میرا بچہ ہو عزادار میرا بچہ ہو عزادار قربان کروں تجھ پر مولا یہ ہے تیرا نوکر مولا میرا بچہ ہو عزادار میرا بچہ ہو عزادار جب ٹھنڈا پانی دیکھ لے نظروں میں آئے کربلا. جب یہ پانی لب کو چھوئے یاد آئے اصغر کا گلا. مولا پیاسا مارا گیا, میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ, میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ. قربان کروں تجھ پر مولا, یہ ہے تیرا نوکر مولا. میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ, میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ. وہ آگے رہے پڑھے ہائے, وہ پڑھے نماز اور قرآن. اخلاق ہو سب سے بہترین اور ساتھ میں ہو وہ نوح خان. سچا ہو زیادہ آپ کا ہاں, میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ, میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ. قربان کروں تجھ پر مولا, یہ ہے تیرا نوکر مولا. میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ, میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ. جب اس کی پیدائش ہوئی کانوں میں دی میں نے اذان. نوحوں کی اذان دیتا رہے اور اس کو سنے سارا جہاں. ماتم یہ کرے تو اس طرح, یہ کرے تو اس طرح. میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ, میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ. قربان کروں تجھ پر مولا, یہ ہے تیرا نوکر مولا. میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ, میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ. یہ بچہ امانت آپ کا اور پالنا اس کو میرا کام. مولا کے عزاداروں میں بھی شامل ہوتے جانی اس کا نام. مجھے والد ایسا تو بنا, مجھے والد ایسا تو بنا. میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ, میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ. قربان کروں تجھ پر مولا, یہ ہے تیرا نوکر مولا. میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ, میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ, میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ, میرا بچہ ہو آزادہ.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل Muhammad وعجل فرجهم أجمعين. Dear children, dear parents, this brings us to the end of tonight's Majlis, but at the very end, it is very important that we also curse on the enemies of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. So, as much as it's important that we do salawat, it's very important at the same time that we send curse on the enemies of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. So make sure you do that, dear children, always. And very last thing, this is the time to send your salam to the Imam Mehdi alayhi salam and to ask for your wishes and your hajat. And a very important point here, dear children, a lot of the times, the first thing that comes to our mind is, ourselves. We want to ask something for ourselves, but the best way, the way that Allah likes, the way that Ahlul Bayt likes, is when you pray for everybody else first, and at the end, you pray for yourself. So let's all practice tonight. Let's all start in the Majlis of Aba Abdullah, that we all pray for everybody else, for our parents, for our siblings, for all the Shias. May Allah take us out of this COVID-19 situation, inshallah. May Allah give health to each and every one of us, inshallah. Please, dear children, try to take this approach. I will end it here. Iltimas dua. And I would like to apologize again for technical issues. Please keep all of us in your prayers. And I would request the children and the parents to recite Surah Fatiha and 3 times Surah Tawheed for all the marhumin, inshallah. The reason we can sometimes recite Surah Fatiha by itself, but did you know, dear children, if you add 3 times Surah Tawheed, that is as if you have completed the Holy Quran, the entire Holy Quran. You get that much of a sawab. So please, all of you, recite Surah Fatiha and then 3 times Surah Tawheed. But have a very good night and iltimas dua. Khuda Hafiz.